Hello. Good morning, friends. Good morning. Hang tight. I'm just still getting a few things organized on my little desk here. All the fans. I have a really good story about that one. Hi, guys. Good morning. Happy Saturday. How is everyone this morning? Let's see. I'm looking at two devices, so I'm looking forward now. That's where I can see all of the comments in the chat. So let's see, Shannon. Hi, Shannon and Corey and Terry. Terry says, welcome newbies. That means we must have some newbies that have popped in. So welcome. If you're new, welcome. Very fun to have you here. Well, it's very fun to have everyone here, but definitely fun to have newbies here because we love that. We love expanding our little community here, right? So Paulina, Lynn, Jane, and I love it that you guys always say where you're from. Colleen, Kelly, I think I saw someone, did I see Netherlands maybe? Yeah, in and out. Whoop. Carol, Wanda, Kylie, Terry again, Paulina. All right, you guys, welcome. Hi, Val, Valerie, better not do that. Anyhow, Nova Scotia, just had your second jab. Good for you. Yes, Canada, you guys have, I think a lot of people starting to get the second vaccination. So good for you. That's awesome. Welcome everyone. Good morning. Good morning. If we haven't met before, my name is Lael Konkar, and I have a little business called Lael by Mail. Pre-COVID, I was traveling all over the world teaching all kinds of classes, whether they were at scrapbook stores or events, teaching mini books and layouts and planner classes and traveler's notebook classes, and then COVID hit, and on a whim, I decided to do a free class here on YouTube. Just kind of a, hey, here's an intro to Traveler's Notebook 101 class because it was early in COVID days, and I was, we were all kind of reeling, right? Kind of things were shutting down, and we're like, what's going on? And I thought, well, what could I do? What could I just put out there to kind of help take people's minds off things? And that has grown into many Saturdays later. Here we are. So every Saturday, we're here, I should say most every Saturday. We're here, same time, same bat channel. And for the most part, we do creative listing. And what I mean by that is usually the day before, I share 3 list topics. And that's what I do. That's what I work on while we're together. But I've learned that you guys are doing all kinds of things. I know we have a few people that mentioned they are working on the Life as an Adventure mini book project kit that they bought from me that I taught the class the other night, and so they're kind of still working on that a little bit. Some of you are listing with me, some of you are working on any project, some of you are cleaning the house or working. It's just all different kinds of things. And I know that during COVID, this was a great place for us to come together and just feel like things were a little bit normal, right? Felt like we were being social. Felt like I was talking to myself, which I always do. No, because I know you guys are there. But it was a really neat thing. And I think for a long time, it was a great place for just us to come. Us, and I mean you guys and me, to give us a little bit, some sort of semblance of normal and social interaction. And it turned into this fun little community. So we just decided to keep doing it, right? We're still here. So, when I do my classes, it's not really a class, right? As I work, I talk about different products that I'm using. I talk about maybe why I chose to use A instead of B. I sometimes try things and they don't work, and we talk about why they don't work. Sometimes you guys suggest things and you're like, what if you put this over there? And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't for me. So it's just all kind of fun. In the description of the video, so the box, down below, I always include lots of links. And as much as I can, I try to link to the different products I'm using because after I did my very first video in March of 2020, you guys very much, what is that? Where did you get that? Where can I find that? And so my business has grown a ton because now I provide a lot of that product on my website. I always encourage you, if you are shopping, to shop local. So if you have a local scrapbook store, a local pet store, a local mom and pop coffee shop, whatever it is, to shop local because that's super important that we support our communities. But if you don't have local, then that's where I kind of provide you links where you can find things. Sometimes you can find them on my website. Other times you just find them around the web. This always comes up, and I thought I probably need to start touching on this every time, and I've added just a quick little note in the description of the video. For some reason, the links don't work for some people, and it's not everyone, so it makes troubleshooting really, really hard. So if you ever click on a link and it gives you an error, copy and paste the link, and then it should work no problem. So let's see. I know this is the part, you guys, I missed tons of comments. So if you are new, just know that if you're watching live, there's a chat that takes place. So you can pop in the chat and chit chat back and forth. If I happen to see something as I'm working in the chat, then and it's a question or comment or whatever, sometimes I'll comment on it. But if I don't see it, then I don't see it. So if you have something to say and you would like me to respond, don't be afraid of asking again. And sometimes people will type in all caps. And then if I happen to glance up, the all caps just happen to stand out. So, Paulina, you work at a craft store. That's awesome. And you can type where it is. I probably in the chat won't see it, but yeah, you are more than welcome to type where it is. Type in the chat. Let's see. Mari, yes, Mary, I believe so. So Mary just asked a good question. She said, if the link doesn't work and you cut and paste it, will it still have your affiliate benefits? Some of the links that I have, they are affiliate links. And what that means is if you purchase through that link, then I get a little tiny cents usually, but it all adds up. Kind of kickback. It doesn't cost you anything more, but yes, it does. If you copy and paste that link, it still has all the information that it needs to know. It was me. Good morning from Arizona, Diane. All right, you guys, so I think what we are going to do, Carol asked a question about a word strip pad. So Carol, I think they don't specifically have a word strip sticker pad anymore. It's been a really long time since they had that. So most of their sticker tablets, the Simple Story sticker tablets that go with their collections, have 1 or 2 sticker sheets in them that have the word strip stickers. And if I'm not making sense or that wasn't your question, shoot me an email and I will, we can dig into it a little bit deeper and I can help. Okay, friends, so you work at Joann. How fun. That would be a fun place. I would never have a paycheck if I worked there. Between the fabric and the home decor and then all the craft stuff, I'd be in trouble. Okay, guys, so a couple quick things that I just need to mention really quick. I will not have studio lights today. So normally when I flip the camera, I have studio lights. They are super hot. If you've been with me before, you know, always I'm having my own little personal summer, and it's just that time of life. Last Sunday, so it's been almost a week, our air conditioner decided to die. And the dead heat of summer, when you live in Utah and records are being broken right and left with over 100-degree days, is not a good time for the air conditioner to break. So it's also not a good time because the HVAC people are really busy this time of year. So good news is we should have a new, compressor or something needs to be replaced. It's 3 years old. Something clearly is wrong. So we're hoping that it still comes in under warranty because we don't want to buy a new compressor. Anyhow, should be fixed, hopefully the new part early next week. All of that to say, I can't have my studio lights. I will die. So I have a fan that is blowing across my legs. I also have my little fan for my face if I need it. But luckily, we've had a little bit of a reprieve. We had a lot of rain the other day, and so it's been like hovering in the low 80s, which is awesome. I can deal with that. The other thing, oh yes. So lots of times you get loopy lail, and what I mean by loopy lail is that's just kind of my personality, and I squirrel a lot, and that's how we have Scatter, our little mascot. But every once in a while, a migraine comes into play, and then it's really loopy, and that was this morning. So woke up at like 6:30 with a migraine, took my medication, and literally crashed, went back to sleep and crashed. So the good news is the migraine is gone, but I always get this weird kind of little migraine hangover. It just makes me a little loopy. So if today's a little loopier than normal, just know that's why. Okay, last thing. We had a giveaway last week, and it was a project kit, My Life as an Adventure project kit that was donated by lovely one of you, Pam. Hold on, Pam Snyder. Had to write that down. Pam Snyder. So thank you, Pam. And I drew this morning for that, and the winner of that is Cindy Bartok. So congratulations, Cindy, and thank you so much, Pam. You guys are so wonderful. This community is so wonderful in giving, whether it is just in your comments, your emails to me, it's just wonderful. So thank you, Pam. She bought 2, and when she bought 2, she just left a note with her order and said, I want to donate 1 back, which I thought was so awesome. So we will have a giveaway today. We always do, I like to do giveaways. It's fun. So we always do a giveaway. And the way that you participate in the giveaway is after the video is over. So not in the chat. After the video is over, come back and leave a comment. And I always have you comment on something that you would have, even if you're not listing with us. One of the items on your list. So we have 3 lists today. One of the lists is, what should we do? Let's do this one. One of the lists is always in my fridge. And I don't remember where I saw this last week. It was maybe Facebook or something, but something said, hey, these are the things always in my fridge or something like that. And I thought, you know what, that'd be a really fun list. So do you have those kind of always in your fridge no matter what? When we're done with the video today, leave a comment on the video letting me know one of the things that is always in your fridge, and I will draw next Saturday morning before we start. 1 random lucky winner will win one of these guys. So this is a little Mail by Mail canvas pouch, and inside there's some goodies. Inside we have the Scattered Thoughts. That's our little mascot, Scatter. Scattered Thoughts stamp set. We have a Scatter the Squirrel pin and a Scatter the Squirrel vinyl sticker. So that's part of the prize, and just leave a comment on the video after the fact letting me know something that's always in your fridge, and I will draw a random lucky winner next week. All right, friends, we are just about ready to flip the camera, so let me look. Oh yes, I have the utmost sympathy, but also empathy for migraine sufferers. I'm so sorry if you suffer from those. They're pain in the butt, right? Or actually pain in the head, not really pain in the butt, but okay, friends, so let's go ahead and I know I've missed a ton of things. Let's go ahead and flip the camera, and I will plug in my phone right after I flip. So those of you that maybe haven't been with me for a couple weeks, I have gone back to our original way of filming. I was playing around with a new app that was really cool, and I could just switch back and forth by pushing a button, and the clarity just wasn't as good. So we're back to flipping the camera, much better clarity while I continue to research what the heck was going on there. So I'm going to flip. We're at Disneyland, Arms and Ride, loopy migraine. Arms and legs inside the ride at all times while we go for a little spin. So we are spinning in 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. I think we'll be okay today without the lights. We'll have maybe a few shadows, but that's okay. Alrighty. So every Saturday, once we get going, oh, Valerie, I'm so glad that you go by Val too, because I just, as a habit, I shorten people's names, and I hate to do that. Okay, so what we're going to start out with, usually I like to start out just showing how my list turned out from last week, because sometimes I finish them while we're working and sometimes I don't. Just depends on kind of what's going on. So last week we did 3 lists. The first list, right? That was one. Oh yeah. Okay, just double checking. The first one was Summer Faves. And this is one that I do basically for every season. I love to do it with this way because usually when I do this, I use a Simple Stories collection, because in their 6x8 pads, they always have something like this. And that's just a paper that I trimmed down. So it makes it kind of fun, and it's already decorated for us. So there we go. That was our first list, Summer Faves. And I used the Sunkissed collection, which I'm still loving and using a ton of. You'll see me use that one again next week. Next one is this one. Oh, you guys, I had so much fun with this. This one of you had suggested, I think in the Facebook group. So there is a Lail by Mail Facebook group, and if you're on Facebook and you'd like to join us, just search for Lail by Mail. There's a page and then there's a group. So obviously you can do both, but if you do the group, you just need to say, I want to join, and then I will accept you. So someone had brought this up in the group that it would be a fun topic, and it was, she had worded it a little bit different way, and I don't remember quite how she had worded it. But I think she has posted, so a couple people have now posted their lists that they did similar to this in the group. So it's kind of fun to see what everyone has done. So this guy, what we're known for, you can see where I'm from. I live in Utah. And so when I was putting my spread together, the state of Utah is shaped like this. It's basically a rectangle with the upper right-hand corner chunked out. And so I just cut that out of pattern paper, did some stamping, and then did my list over here. What was funny, you guys, is I was starting to put away product last week. This thing right here, the Heck Yes, that came from the Wander collection, the travel collection that I used last week. So I was putting things away, and I saw this Heck Yes. And interesting, I wonder if I wrote that over here. So one of the sayings that we here in Utah say, we say, oh my heck. Instead of like, oh my hell, or oh my God, or oh my gosh, we say, oh my heck. And that's just a Utah thing. So when this kind of just jumped out at me, I'm like, heck yes, oh my gosh, that was perfect. Then this morning, when I was getting some product out or going through some product, I saw this guy that says this must be the place, which that was just so funny too, because Utah also, I guess when the Mormons founded, not when the Mormons settled in Utah, not founded, settled in Utah, they said this is the place. And so that's kind of another thing that's known for Utah. So it was just kind of funny that those two things worked in with that. But I thought this list was so fun, such a great idea. So if you're on and you are the one that said this would be a great list topic, thank you, loved it. All right, then the last one. So this one I didn't get too far on. Marissa, did you do Southern Utah? Did you do the national parks? I think I saw you chat about that in the group. So the last list I didn't get too far on, but I am so proud of myself, you guys, because I went back and I finished all 3 lists last week after we were done. Kind of learning that if I don't finish that day, then it sometimes doesn't happen. So the last list, this is things I heard about going on vacation. And it was another 2-pager, and I had used the Wander collection, Vicki Booten's Wander collection. So I used some stickers and some die cuts. So that was really fun. That turned out totally different than I thought it was going to. But I've been trying to use more boxes lately when I list, because that lets me write a little bit more, right? So instead of just making a list about different one-liners that I love about going on vacation, I can kind of expand upon that a little bit more. So, Paula, I think that's Paula, right? Yes. Wonderful reminder. As you're watching, if you guys would give the video a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. That's so key to how all of the social medias work. And whether it is YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, even if you're scrolling, just double tap on somebody's post. If you comment, it's even better on like Instagram or Facebook. But anyhow, so a thumbs up on Facebook, a double tap on Instagram, all that stuff is so, so important. Okay, so now we're ready to dig in. Our first list is, which one do I want to do first? So what I'm going to do, all 3 of my lists today are going to be 1-pagers, which I've kind of worked my way into like this habit of only doing 2-pagers. So I thought this week that I'm going to do 3 1-page lists. Now, for the most part, when I go back through my past listing traveler's notebooks, like this guy, I have a mix of 1-pagers and 2-pagers. Like there's a good example. Those are 2 separate lists, and they don't really go together, right? I mean, they are different products, and that's okay. In my book, that's okay. One of my favorite things to say is you do you. So in my book, literally and figuratively, I don't mind if there are 2 lists side by side that just don't match. Some of you that really bothers you. So you'll either have two separate lists and use similar product, or you will just always do two pagers. So this was an example of these were two separate lists, but I used Vicky's color study collection. So even though they were two separate lists, they kind of coordinate and they don't look so different. This was an example, again, two separate lists, totally different product. I mean, these didn't coordinate at all, but that's okay because sometimes it just works like that. I think what I'm going to do here, there are two lists that the product will kind of coordinate and one that it really won't. Okay, Scrapped New Hampshire. I think that's NH. And I know I remember your name, but then I also know I don't remember your name, so I apologize. The envelope mini. So I think what you mean is the file folder mini. Yes, when we are done, if you will remind me, I will pull that out and do a flip through of that. That's a new project kit that I just released, I think, on Thursday night. All right, so two of the three lists, I'm using similar product, so I think I will do both of those there. And then the third list, that's different product, I will do over here. Which tells me I need to do Always in the Fridge is going to be last. So let's start out with the first one. The first one is interesting, you guys. No, you're good. No worries. I know I'm like, maybe I should do an envelope mini though. So the first list, when I was on vacation, when we were on vacation, we actually went with three other couples. And they are like our best friends from college. We all went to college together and have known each other for a really, really, really long time. So one day at dinner, or we're on the beach, or I don't know, whatever. Someone said, "Hey, like, did you have any childhood memories? I mean, childhood memories, Lord, injuries." And so we just started talking about different injuries that we had as kids. And I thought, you know what? That would be a really fun list to do. So whether you're doing this for yourself or doing this for someone in your family, if you have kids, if you have pets, if maybe you have an accident-prone pet, maybe you have a cat that has 9 lives and that cat has worked its way through 3 or 4 of them and various injuries. You can decide if you are listing with me on if you're listing about your injuries or someone else's. So what I thought I would do, I used a couple weeks ago, I pulled out the die cuts and paper pad from the Yay collection. And I thought I would pull that out again. Kind of what led me to pull that out is I knew I wanted to use some die cuts that I've had for a while, but I keep bringing them in because this is probably, if you were to say, Lael, how would you describe your style? These die cuts are just so me. So that is one of them. These are tags. Where am I missing another one? There's my pink one. And then these are a bunch of different parts, but there's just all of these. It's very graphic, a lot of white. You know, I always like a lot of white, a really fun color palette. So I thought I would blend these and they worked really well with the Yay 6x8 paper pad. So I pulled out a couple of papers. I also pulled out a bicycle. This was from the Noteworthy collection. This will make a lot of sense in a minute when you hear about one of my childhood injuries. Has to do with a bike. All right, so this I think is going to be my base paper. So I will end up putting that here. And then I'm using one of my library card pockets. These are, that's a big sticker. It's self-adhesive. I use these a lot in my lists. I use them in my pocket page mini books. They're just, I think, a really fun way to kind of mix things up a little bit. And that's just kind of a fun little thing to add your journaling on. So this will be my base. I will use that. And then this paper before, you may remember, if you were with me when I used the Yay collection before, I had pulled this out because I love this paper and I just couldn't quite work it into what I was doing on that list, but I'm going to work it on this list. So that's my plan. And I'm sticking to it, but really who knows if I'll stick to it because you know me. All right, let me grab the trimmer. I'm just curious. I have to look here at my watch because I'm really curious as to what what's the temperature outside? Temperature outside 75, which is lovely. You guys, I'm thinking it might be like 70 in our house, which right now would be amazing. Because my legs, honestly, my legs are a little cold with the fan, which I would never say. Said Lael, never. All right. So let's grab our trimmer. And if you are new or haven't been with me for a while, one of my favorite things to use when I'm listing is a 6x8 pad. Oh, squirrel down. Uh-oh, where'd he go? Oh, he's over here. Yes, Scatter. He's always with me, right? He's tired. He has remnants of migraine as well. Oh, that's too funny. So Susan, this is funny. So Susan said it's perfect. Her son had so many injuries during his childhood. And we had a son that was just like that. Well, I shouldn't say had. Sam. We still have Sam. Sam had a lot of injuries. So I think this may be a list that I do more than once. One for me, but then also maybe one for Sam. All right. So I like to use 6x8 pads. Oh, golly, we're crooked. Hang on. It's just taking me. Don't mind me. It's just taking me a while to see that we're crooked. I like to use 6x8 pads in my lists because it's a great way to get pops of color, right? You can see, I use 6x8. Well, you wouldn't know maybe looking at, but these are all from 6x8 pads. The reason that 6x8 pads, I think, are so awesome to work with in your traveler's notebooks is because they're 6x8, right? Obvious. My inserts that I use are standard wide. So standard wide, here's my 6x8 pad. Here is my standard wide insert. So my standard wide insert is a little bit taller and a little bit narrower, right? Which means when I pick up a 6x8 pad, it's almost the perfect size, right? I just have to trim it down a little bit. I also get the pattern that is scaled down. So most companies that do paper pads scale the pattern down. So it works a little bit better when you're working in a smaller area. So standard wide, and then I just like to always throw this out as a reference point. This is a standard insert. So standard insert, you can see, is a little bit narrower than a standard wide. And I like a little bit of extra space. So standard wide is 8.25 by 5. My 6x8 is 6x8. So clearly, I just need to trim that down a little bit, and then it makes for a great background to build my list from. Okay, so let me trim off that little bottom part from the paper pad. Usually I like to trim the width to 4 3/4 or 4.75. The reason I like to do that is because since the pad is 8 and my insert is 8.25, that means it's a 1/4 of an inch shorter. So if I cut this instead of 5 to 4.75, then it's a 1/4 of an inch less wide. So I have a nice white border around it. I need to grab my corner rounder. Hang on. Because the inserts that I use have rounded corners, so I like to always round my outside corners. Yeah, clearly I'm missing something in the comments because I just looked up and saw employees peed laughing. Ah, that's funny. Although I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Hi, Marie. All right, so that will be my base. And I'm going to just get out my adhesive. And normally I don't work on top of my trimmer. I'm just going to keep it out because I know I need to cut one more paper. So there we go. Nice background. And not all my lists have a background, right? A lot of cases I am listing directly on the insert itself, like that one. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Oh, Kylie. Okay, so now thank you. That's an example. Kylie typed everything all uppercase and I could see it. She is migraine. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, so next up, this is going to be the base of my list. and it's too plain, right? Clearly too plain. So I thought what I would do is this guy right there. Then I get this really fun, whatever that is, starburst, sunburst, I don't know. Here I am not going to measure. I am just going to make a mark where I think that I want to cut. So we'll go about right there, and right there. And I think that will be fun. This Yay collection, and I had talked about this before, it is one of those sleepers. And when I say sleeper, it has a very loose, like, celebratory theme to it. Very loose celebratory theme to it. The die cuts definitely have more of the theme than the paper. But the paper is, I think maybe there's one or two papers in the pad that have like a, like birthday candles and birthday balloons. There's the balloons. But for the most part, it is super neutral. And I've had fun using a lot of the pastels in this collection. So I've used it a couple times in my lists. All right, so it's looking kind of circusy, but it'll be good. Always have to do this. Art from the 60s, it does, right? Doesn't that one kind of a psychedelic a little bit? Okay, so I come in with my black pen and I outline. I just have to do that because I do. I don't know, I've been scrapbooking specifically for 24 years, but crafting for a lot longer than that. And I started doing that in my scrapbooking, oh my gosh, I don't know, probably 15 years ago or something. So it's to the point now that if I don't do it, it just looks really plain. It looks like something's just missing. So once I outline, then it looks good. In my book, that's one of the you to use. Oh, I know. I should have had one here. I found some stickers, vinyl stickers that say "You Do You," and it's a woman, a really small, female-owned business out of Colorado, and so because I say that all the time, so I ordered those and I just added them to my website the other day. I put one on my water bottle. One might have to go on the inside of my my Epson printer too, right? All right, so actually, I had just pulled the backing off of there. I'm not sure that I'm ready yet. Hi, Marilee. Okay, I'm gonna put that back on for a sec because I'm not quite sure where I might want to put that yet, because now what needs to come into play is that big die cut that said life. It's going to be a pretty bold list, right? That starburst and then that big life. So it's going to be pretty bold. But that black helps to kind of make it a little bit less pastel-y. So I just need to figure out, I don't know, life may go there. I need to figure out where the bike's going to go. So we'll put the bike there while I continue to kind of think about that. What I thought that I would do, I have 4 pretty specific childhood injuries. Now, these aren't like scraping your knee. These are a little bit bigger. So what I thought I would do is use some of these tags that were from the Miss Modern die cuts, because they will be a nice little thing to stick outside of the pockets, my library card pocket, right? And then I have a little bit more room maybe to write about it. So it's still a list. This is still a list of some of my childhood injuries, but I'll be able to, write about them a little bit more. Because the time that I knocked my 2 front teeth out needs a little bit more explanation, right? So I have 4. I have 4 4 things that I will be listing about. And so I'll decide. I will probably end up with 5 tags just because I like odd numbers in that case better than even. What I need to figure out is whether or not my title will be visible or whether I kind of talk about that in here. Maybe I put childhood injuries up there with some smaller alpha stickers. And then I know I want, though, these. I don't want these behind because then you just kind of lose, just it's kind of too weird. So these will go in front. Yeah, I'm not sure how the bike is going to work. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe the bike comes down here. You can see I keep going back to the decorating because that's just what my mind is thinking today. Maybe that'll work. It's just going to work because I'm just going to do it. My brain does not have the capacity today to fret because a lot of times that's what I do. Wait, should it go there or should it go here? Should I put it over there? What about here? Oh, I like it there. No, wait, what if I tried this? Oh, wait, I might have another product that I want to use instead that's buried or downstairs or, yeah, no time for that today. Sometimes more isn't always better, right? When you're like, gosh, I wish I had more product, or I wish I had something else that I could use, or what if I had, sometimes more is not always better. So what I try to do ahead of time, clearly, is narrow down what I'm going to use, because then fewer choices. You know, if you ever go to like Cheesecake Factory and their menu, they have to basically bring it to you in a wheelbarrow because it's so big. Lots of choices, right? So if you've ever been there, sometimes you're like, what do I eat? I don't know what to eat. There's too many choices. So sometimes more is not better, right? All right, well, that's going to work. And let's take these guys out. Of course, we have to start with this. I think what I might do is use, oh, sorry, let me move up, is move alphabet stickers. Colleen, okay, so I just saw Colleen's question. Colleen said, Lael, is there a chance there will ever be a die for the scatter stamp? Colleen, I'd say 99.99% chance of rain, which means no. I don't really use dies, and because I don't use them, it's not something that I would probably feel really comfortable sourcing. I mean, I know where I could find them. It's just really not my thing. So sorry, but no. Okay. So what I was thinking was alpha stickers, and I had pulled these three colors out because these three colors, Florence alpha stickers, these three colors seem to go very well with the Yay collection that I was using. So I think, which of these three do you guys think that Lael will end up using? 1, 2, 3, blue, pink, or yellow? Blue, pink, or yellow? Blue, pink, or yellow? Yellow. I love yellow. And I didn't really notice this until now, but I actually covered up a lot of the yellow. If I had done that again, I probably would have rotated that. So the yellow was more up there, but oh well. Okay, so childhood injuries. I think with that title, childhood and injuries, really I want the more emphasis on injuries than childhood. So I think I will use these to spell injuries up here, and then I will just write childhood above that. So I'm grabbing my handy dandy ruler. Anytime I say handy dandy, it makes me think of Blue's Clues. Handy dandy notebook. And I use my ruler to line up my letter stickers. I'm using this little line right there on the ruler to get, oh, that's where you can see it's really dark. I hope it's not too dark, you guys. It's very shadowy. So using the ruler to line up the stickers, but then I'll also use the ruler for something else in a minute with the stickers. It's like my favorite thing to do. This is probably one of my most used tools, golly. If you're just joining, just know that I had a horrible migraine this morning and it's gone because I took my medication, but it lingers in terms of my brain not really functioning. So normally I line up like all on the same line, so they're even. My alpha stickers, but I'm not going to do that on this one because this is kind of a really fun, whimsical font. So I think I might just, well, we'll see. I don't know. It might not work that way because they're all, other than the eye, they're all kind of the same size. Injuries, and then the eye will be lower again. Actually, let's use this. The pocket with the tags. Marie said she likes the pocket with the tags. That is, I mean, you pretty well always when we do these, you see me either do listing and sometimes memory keeping. I think these are great. Those library cards pockets are wonderful for even if you're doing a scrapbook or even if you're doing memory keeping in your traveler's notebook. They're just a great way to do a little bit of journaling. Let me see if one is in here. Let me think for 1 sec. There's an example where I used one just more decorative on my cover. Oh, here's another one where I was memory keeping about a trip that we took to one of the national parks here in Utah. So that one I will do journaling on. So just kind of a fun little way to use them in different ways. Sandra, that is the steel ruler that I have on my website. It's a 6-inch ruler, which is awesome because when I'm working in a smaller space like a traveler's notebook, let's see. Oh, I can't do that because I need to talk about that. It's smaller, so it's a little bit more flexible for me to work with. But the steel is nice for when we do something like this. The stickers will stick to it when I want it to. But then when I'm ready to come in and adhere my title or my word, I can move it around so I can make sure I get it somewhat centered, right? And it's pretty easy on this one because it's pretty much right to left. But if I'm doing a title on like here, I also used it for there because then I can move right, left to make sure that I get it centered. All right, so now when I'm ready to go ahead and adhere that, I just stick it down. Press the tops of those letters down. So these are cardstock alpha stickers. So they're a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker. There we go, childhood injuries. I think this font, and it's the Florence. I don't think I linked it in the description of the video, but it's on my website. The Florence font is fun for this list just because that kind of, I don't know, that reminds me of the Brady Bunch for some reason, the Brady Bunch font. But it's fun because it's kind of whimsical, and the products that I'm using so far, the papers from the Yay collection, are pretty whimsical, and yeah, kind of works. It kind of works. So there we go. Childhood injuries. Well, it doesn't say childhood yet, but injuries. And here I will write childhood. So, as we are listing, and this comes up every so often, what we're doing here, you guys, we're memory keeping. Colleen, with this particular font, there is no center of the R. It is full. Just the O is also full, the D is full, the center of the E is full. So they don't pop out, which I think kind of makes it fun. It kind of makes it even that much more whimsical. Oh, yes, we're memory keeping. Even though here I'm not planning on adding any photos because I'm pretty sure my parents don't have any photos of these injuries of mine. I'm not adding photos, but we're still memory keeping, right? We're telling a story through what we're doing, even if we're listing, the things that are always in our refrigerator. We're telling a story, right? My list of things in the refrigerator tells a story. It tells a story of my husband and I are at a different time in our life, right? We're empty nesters now. My list of things that would be in my refrigerator would be very different if I was making a list when our kids were little, right? Okay. Susan, you bought a ruler for your husband to use in his woodworking. I love that. Yeah, it's just a fun little thing. Wanda, yes, I do sell the library cards. They are linked in the description of the video. There is a package of, I think, 8 of just the plain ones, and there's also a package of some colored ones. All right, so that will go there. So now I'm going to be sad because guess what? I like the way that looks. I don't want to cover up with tags, but guess what? It's just going to be too weird, I think, with those sticking up, because then they won't really stick up. Maybe it'll be okay. I like that in front. I'm going to make it work in front. Okay, so childhood injuries, and I'll do a little bit of journaling. Well, journaling, yeah. Basically, I'm going to explain. When I do this is off the top of my head. I don't plan ahead of time what I'm going to say. And then sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. I can go to the backside if I need, but I was pretty fortunate as a kid. Not too many injuries. No broken bones. But there were 4 incidents that really stick out in my mind, even after 40 plus years. So now you know I'm older than 40, quite a bit. Anyhow, even after 40 plus years. So probably what I will do is I'm going to now list on the tags, and then I will come back, and after we're done, I'll finish up with a bit more journaling there. So that will go in there like so. And because, I can't not outline. But it makes such a difference, especially when you start getting into some lighter colors. It just makes one really pop. So I like them. Oh my gosh, Joanne said she broke both of her wrists at the same time. Were you running and you fell and you tried to catch yourself and broke both of your wrists? Seems like when kids are little, that's a common broken wrister, is running and trying to catch a fall. But I love you guys. Pauline is making the list. Oh my gosh. Marilee's mom hit her in the head with a tennis racket. I don't mean to laugh because that is not funny at all, but I know, right? We all have these things, and I will tell you, my first one, and I'll just go in order of when they happened. My first one involved my mother, which I think, or father, or, sister or brother or whatever, that I think in a lot of cases that things like that happen. And as a parent, if they happen to you, you feel like so bad and so guilty. And yeah, but you know what? Accidents happen. And I'm sure, Marilee, your mom probably felt so bad. Yeah, so even if you guys aren't listing, even if you're not, making this list, pop in the chat and just share what one of yours was. Or maybe you have a family member. One that will go on Sam's list. Sam is our 20-year-old son. One will go on his list. When he was probably 3, he was at our nanny's, and she had the plugs in the wall the little plastic things so you couldn't, get in them. And she had like a boom box or, a little radio or something plugged in the other plug. Sam unplugs the little safety thing out of the bottom plug and stuck a metal skeleton keychain into the socket. And it blew him across the room. Yeah, so then we had to go to the ER and was all kind of crazy. And he's fine. But yeah. So, of course, and I feel guilty. So our nanny felt horrible. And then I feel guilty because I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And if I was a stay-at-home mom, then it never happened to him. Yeah. Fight in the sandbox. Oh my goodness. Oh, guess what? All right. So now I'm remembering some things. One time my sister threw a fork and it stuck in my leg. But that one won't go up my list. Lynn swallowed a piece of glass. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, right? Woo. Okay. Broke your leg in 4th grade skating on one skate while carrying your little brother. Oh my heavens. All right, I'm going to keep listing, but I could read all of the things that happened to you guys, but I'll keep going. All right, so some of my tags have a little bit more room to write than others, right? Well, really, 2 that I pulled out have more room to write, and 2 have a little bit of room, and then 1 doesn't have any room at all, but that's okay because I like the color, so it's still going to go in the pocket. So I'll start with the injuries. The first one, I was 3. I'm pretty sure that's about how old I was. My mom was ironing. And I was sitting in a rocking chair, bad combination, next to the ironing board. I hit the board. The iron fell. You see where this is going. Hit my calf. Cut into my calf. And burned my calf. I will finish this list later, or this particular one, but it was severe. Went to the doctor. Doctor said, okay, this is going to take some plastic surgery, but it needs to heal first, so we need to get it a little bit further along. So come back and, whatever. So mom takes me back home, and every day for a month, maybe, I don't remember, I'd have to ask her, she opened up vitamin E capsules and put vitamin E on that burn cut wound. When we went back to the doctor, a month later, whatever it was, he was astonished and said, what in the world? And my mom said, oh, this is what I did. And he said, wow, because she's not going to need plastic surgery. So that's the first one on my list. Cut and burned by an iron. I still have a scar. It was very large when it happened. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's kind of shaped like this. It's kind of shaped a little bit like a pennant because, yeah. All right. And I still have the scar 40 some odd years later. Well, yeah, 40 plus a lot of years. Well, anyhow, it doesn't matter. Okay. So that one will go somewhere in here. Next one. My next one was, oh yes, this is where the bite comes into play. Oh, and look at Colleen. Sounds like she has a similar story. Broke her front tooth and half corner to corner. Oh my gosh, and you couldn't have it repaired until your late teens. Wow. I think that's Natalie. You threw a plastic banana at him. Oh goodness, right? Carol, no childhood injuries, no paper cuts even? Stuck bubblegum papers in my ears. Oh, that's funny. We won't even get into, my sister did this and my children did this, shoving like peas and carrots, little peas and carrots up their nose. Okay, so this one, this has to do with the bike. we were living in Japan. My dad was a Top Gun pilot in the Navy, so we were stationed in Japan for 3 or 4 years. We were living in Japan in base housing. So we were, in a neighborhood of all Navy people. The older kids in the neighborhood were riding their bikes with no hands. No hands. I decided to give it a try because I'd never done it, and ran into a phone pole and knocked out my 2 front teeth. All right, so that one I will continue on because there's a whole other part of the story that my mom and dad had a very formal Navy event to go to. So my mom was all dressed up. My dad had gone to get the babysitter and was returning with the babysitter and pulls in right after I had hit the phone pole. So that was kind of a yes. All right, so there's another little story, another list, right? Just a different kind of list than we sometimes do. I have a little bit more. Well, these I can use because I have a little bit of room to write. So I think probably what I will do on these, I might turn them this way and then write. And then if I need to go over the other side, I can. The third, oh yes, okay. The third one. We lived in Texas. I don't want to get into the color. Probably, I'm going to say 8. Curling irons had just come out. Our babysitter brought hers over. For some reason, she decided to curl my hair in the kitchen. She picked me up and set me, she picked me up to set me on the counter and set me down, you know where this is going, on top of the curling iron. I had a huge burn on my thigh, huge burn on my thigh with a huge blister. And I still remember that blister because it was the shape of a curling iron. Story number 3, list number 3, item number 3 on my list. Okay. This one will tuck in right here. And then the last one. All of these are traumatic. I don't remember the minimal ones. Sarah is giving her son black eye. Fishing hook stuck in, oh my heavens, you guys. Bev's mom hit her in the face with a hot iron. Gosh, our poor mothers, right? They probably felt so guilty. Covered it with Vaseline. That's amazing. So here's one little, okay, I'm going to squirrel for a minute, you guys. Squirrel for a minute on Vaseline. I mean, not Vaseline, on vitamin E. So when I was in college, I had gone to do something with a friend, and she was dropping me off. And she dropped me off, and I got out of the car, and I ran behind the car. And she must have just barely taken her foot off the brake. And I saw the lights go on, and I panicked, and I hit the car, and I fell. And she didn't run me over, but I scraped my knee really bad, like really bad road rash. And so I thought, oh, I know what to do in this case. I'll put vitamin E all over it and it won't scar. Like 2 weeks later, I got a rash from my ankle all the way up to my thigh on that leg. And I went to the doctor, had no clue. Went to another doctor, had no clue. In the meantime, the rash transferred onto my other leg. So my legs, ankle to thigh, were covered in a rash. Went to a dermatologist, walked in, and the dermatologist took one look, and he said, that's vitamin E poisoning. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'd totally forgotten, because now it's like a month later. That's vitamin E poisoning. And I'm like, no. And he said, went through the last month, and I'm like, oh, yes, it's vitamin E. I said, but no, that can't be, because when I was a little kid, this is what my mom did. It was a miracle. And he said, like a lot of things, you have to be really careful, because when I was a kid, it was fine. But over the years, I had developed an allergic reaction to vitamin E. And I didn't know it, because unless you put it on a wound or something like that, you may not know it. And he said, it's very interesting, because it causes a problem for some women, because they'll put it on their face and on their throats to make them look younger. And they'll have an allergic reaction. And now you have that going on your throat, and that's not good. So, little squirrel moment there. Okay. 13 eye surgeries. I missed the rest of that story, I think. Okay, my last one. Oh, yes. So now, we lived in Park City. And I was probably, I don't know, let's see, 12. I was running through a vacant lot and stepped on a nail attached to a board. That's cringeworthy. Sorry for this part. My foot was stuck. Oh, UPS is here. To the board. And I will finish the rest of that story. Oh, wow, Amy, glaucoma. Oh, heavens. Wow, wow, wow. So I will finish that story later, but my foot was stuck to the board, and I had like little white Keds on. So with the, the rubber of the bottom of the, oh, it was bad. Yes. It was between my big toe and the toe right next to it. I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't in between the blank space. All right, so there's my fourth one. And I think just because I'm going to need a little bit of color, we'll just pop that guy right up there. All right. There we go. Turned out totally different than I thought. Because like I said, I had planned on putting all those tags in front. Ooh, I need probably just a little bit of, just get that little bit of adhesive right there. I wonder what the UPS man is bringing me. Okay. And these will just kind of move around. So unfortunately, there's no way to get those to stay the way that I want them to stay. But for now, they'll be cute and all arranged the way they want them to. Okay, there we go. List one done. Yes. And you could, so when I do different lists, sometimes I make pockets, right? And let's just talk about pockets. Okay, that's not my house, because he had this huge box, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I forget that I ordered? I mean, it's like really tall. He is going across the street. Oh yes, so let's just talk about pockets for a minute. And I'm going to pull out a couple of different examples of different pockets that I have done in, I need to finish this. I need to finish covering this one day. Different pockets that I have done in some of my different traveler's notebooks. So this guy, similar, right? There's just another one of my library pockets. And then I used the card to do journaling. Okay, no pockets. All right. That was an example of another pocket, clearly. So let's see what we have over here. Oh, there's a pocket, right? So that pocket is just made out of pattern paper. I just took a second piece of pattern paper, put my adhesive there, there, and there, and stuck it down. So in this case, my little photo is just sliding in the pocket. Need to still finish that list, clearly. But pockets, I think, are a fun way just to, especially if you have a little bit more information that you need to add and you don't want to do like an 8-page list. There's another example on this guy. That's another piece of pattern paper. And then I just did a little notch with a circle punch and then added my lists in there. There's one more pocket that it's probably one of my favorites that I want to just show real quick. And it's probably in this one. This I was recovering this when I was done with it because it had started to come apart in the center, which is just, it just happens. Where is it? It's my Halloween one. Okay, let me think for a second. I usually try to keep them all here. Oh, here it is. On my little cart. Yeah. Okay, this one. Some of you guys remember this list where we made a pocket. So I took 2 pieces of pattern paper, adhered them together just along the sides and the bottom, made little notches. And then in the pockets, this was our favorite Halloween candy. I went to Google and Googled for some of my favorite Halloween candy, found the packaging, saved them to my computer as a photo, as an image, and then just printed them out and tucked them in the pocket. So that was kind of fun. But then I used washi tape to create a tip in. So basically that washi is what's holding it in to my insert. Part of the washi is on the page of the insert itself and part of the washi is on the pocket. So pockets are kind of a fun way to do something different, right? Do something different in your traveler's notebooks. But again, it could be for really any kind of project that you're working on. Even a little card would be cute. Okay, list number 1. List number 2 is junk food. And I've had this one on my list for a while. My list of lists for us to do. So junk food is probably a little bit of an easier list in that it will be, well, I don't know if any of my lists are ever simple, but it should be a fairly it won't be as decorative as this. There won't be as much going on. So I've pulled out a couple things that I thought I would use on this list. And then this morning I saw one more thing. I'm like, oh, I might have to switch it up. We'll see. Kind of the base of this, these are called sweets stickers. Some of you will remember these little box stickers I have. I started out one day with these, the Pantone cards box stickers. So used a couple of those and we had a lot of fun with those. And then I also, in this list, those were citrus stickers from the same, little types of boxes. So those were super popular. You guys liked those little box stickers. So I brought a bunch more in. And one of the sets that I brought in are these little guys, sweets stickers. They're called sweet stickers. So these I've linked in the description of the video. And you'll see lots more little box stickers like this on my website. What I think is really fun about these stickers, they're small, right? They are small. Stephanie, thank you. Stephanie said, I love your videos. Thank you, Stephanie. So they're small, right? They're just small little stickers. And when we're working in a traveler's notebook, sometimes we just need smaller things, right? I mean, this works well here. It's big, but I made it work. This is a little bit bigger. I made it work. But if I had a bunch of big sweet stickers like this, it might be a little bit harder for me to use them. I might only be able to use one on a page or on a list, but now I can use a bunch. So, look at Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's a watermelon cake. I thought it was a slice of watermelon. I'm like, what is a slice of watermelon doing in sweet stickers? But it's a watermelon cake. These are fun because they're kind of watercolory-ish. I don't know. All right, so those I'm going to use on this list. And I am going to, again, use a piece of pattern paper as my base. And I pulled out these 3. I can already tell I'm not going to use this one just because I was thinking about using this as the base of my list, but I don't know, maybe I will. But then this morning I pulled out the Sweet Story sticker pad because, well, it's Maggie Holmes and I just love all of what she does. I thought, well, this is what I'm going to do. I did a list before this one. This was a groceries list, and this is just really, it was our grocery list for that week. I stamped the clip stamp, but I stamped that behind or on top of a piece of pattern paper, and I thought we might kind of play with that again. So I thought if this was my background and this was the clip stamp, maybe. And then it kind of has a little bit of that same, watery color-ish feel. But I don't know, it might be a little bit too much. And I didn't even look to see what else was in here that might work. But that paper, like, totally jumped out at me. So my other option would be maybe that. Or what I was originally thinking was that my clip could be out of that. So we'll see. I need to get my clip stamps out. If you are new to, Marie, see you later. If you are new to me, I worked with a friend of mine, Andy, and she created the first set of listed stamps based on a need that I had for stamps that had clips on them. So now there are 4 different versions of the listed stamps. They all have different clips. There's even one that has mini clips. So I'm going to use that guy. And this is from just the original listed. And these I have linked in the description of the video as well. So I'll use that guy. This is the mini one. The mini one's cute too, especially for smaller things like tags or we kind of played around, but I need to actually come back and play around with this a little bit more about making a list and using the little clips for each of the items on your list. Like something like this would have worked really well when I did something like this. So if you are making a list where you kind of have boxes or you're doing a little bit more writing, then I could have, basically made little clips on all of my little clipboards, if you will. But in this case, I'm going to use, that was the very first one. And while I'm working, I'll just kind of talk about the origin of those. I had years ago, found a stamp set that Fiskars made, the company Fiskars, the ones that make the yellow or the orange handled scissors. And I loved that stamp. It had a whole bunch of different stamps on it, but it had a stamp kind of similar to that, kind of the same idea, a clipboard. I mean, a clip, not a clipboard. And every time I would use it, people were like, oh my gosh, where did you get that? And Fiskars, I don't know, they introduced it in like 2013. And they didn't make it anymore. You couldn't find it anywhere. Every once in a while, there'd be a random sighting on Amazon. But I talked to my friend Andy and said, hey, I'd really like a stamp that had something like this. And she said, okay, let me get to work. And then she came out with the first stamp set. And I love them. They're like perfect for listing. Because sometimes you want to take a lot of time on a list, like the one that we just did. Other times, you just want a quick and dirty thing. So this is, well, I'm going to make it a little bit more decorative because that's just what I do. But we'll work with that guy. So that's the origin. That's where they came from. What was I just going to say? I was thinking something. I have no idea. Okay. I don't know. So really what I need to figure out here is what paper I'm going to use to stamp the little clip and then fussy cut it. So, no. Some of you, we talked, I'm gonna try this one, we'll see. Some of you, we talked about, if you have a stamp like this, or any kind of stamp really that you might use a lot, of sometimes you're working on a project and you totally get a mental block and you kind of can't work anymore and it's just not flowing, but you still want to be creative about pre-stamping a bunch of your stamps. And so there were some people that shared on the Facebook group how they pre-stamped a bunch of their stamps, fussy cut them, and then they just had like a little container ready to go when they were ready to work on them. Let's see. Yes, Colleen, the airport sticker, the airport code baggage tag stickers, they're all this size. They all come in a little box like that. And I'm trying to be really careful with those stickers about putting the dimensions in the description on the product on my website, just because they're just little teeny guys. Do I ship to the UK? I wish I did. I used to. I think there are quite a few small businesses in the US that used to ship to the UK, but unfortunately, the new tax laws that the UK put into place that kind of went along, I think, with Brexit, have stopped many of us from being able to ship to the UK. And it's sad because I would love to ship to the UK. I used to, but, and I'll just kind of talk about this as I'm working. The laws for a business, now anyone shipping to the UK, you have to file taxes and pay taxes. Like me, I would have to pay taxes on anything that is sold to the UK, which is not a problem if it's the US, because I have a process in place to pay taxes in the US. I couldn't even tell you how to even start paying taxes in the UK. So it's just one of those things that unfortunately it's made it hard for small businesses to do business, small, online businesses like mine to do business in the UK. So that is why I don't. And unfortunately, it's really clunky on my website because you don't know that until you go to checkout. And if you go to checkout, it knows because your address is the UK. And then it says, sorry, can't do it, which is a bummer. So I'm sorry. Maybe one day. I know Brexit. I am sure. I am sure that is a bad word for some people, right? In the UK. And it's politics that we, just because it's on our news in the US, but of course we don't really follow it, so we don't really understand what's going on and why and all the little reasons. So little reasons, did I say little reasons? I shouldn't say little reasons because I'm sure there are very big reasons. So Mary said, I have a friend who has a post office box in France and then they ship it to her in the UK. And you know what? Actually, that's what also happens here in the US and Canada. So there are some Canadians, if they live close to a border that has a US city on the other side, they will have a US postal address. And then they just cross the border and pick up the products. Just because I don't know all the ins and outs, but I guess it's easier. So if this is my clip, let's just see what's going to happen. I'm going to do my best not to get black ink all over my hands, because sometimes that happens. But before I stamp, I had pulled out this is just my little stamping notebook. I always like to do a test stamp first, just because I want to make sure I have good coverage. I want to make sure I don't have like a hair or a piece of lint or something in the stamp that is going to, mess up the image. When I'm working with the stamp like this, it's usually pretty easy. I usually don't even need to stamp first, but I always just get in the habit especially if it's a new stamp I haven't used before. It's always a good idea to prime your stamp first. And there are a couple of different ways to do that, but I think the easiest way to prime your stamp is just to stamp with it first. And when you do that, I just stamp on like scratch paper just because, you know, it's easier that way. And I just put it in my notebook because I always know I have scratch paper there. But if I'm spelling something or stamping a date, I always, always, always make sure to test it first to make sure I've spelled correctly and also to make sure that I have the correct date. Because once you stamp, there's no going back. Well, there is. That's not true. You can go back by covering it up if you accidentally, you know, stamp the wrong date or something. All right. So I purposefully stamped down here because I wanted an area. Okay. So that didn't quite work. And if I had kind of looked at it beforehand, what I was trying to do, I was trying to stay away from a lot of the darker because I didn't want that to kind of get in the way of the stamp. But in doing so, I stamped and there's just a large kind of white space there in the center, which when I cut that out, just will look kind of weird. I think I want a little bit more flour than that. So let's try that again. And see if we can find a space that, and here's the thing, I liked this because I really liked the flower part of it, but guess what? I think what's going to happen is, as I start to work with it, I don't know that we're going to have any part of the flower in it, which could be weird. You probably won't be able to tell that it's even a flower. Even, oh my gosh, Karen, even pay taxes on the over the sea shipping costs. Oh my heavens. So it'll be interesting. The way that it works in the US, and it's not necessarily obvious unless, you know, you have a business that you run into this. If you are shipping to a state that is outside of the state you do business in, that you like the business resides in, then you do not, the people that are buying from you do not have to pay taxes online. So unless you live in Utah and you order from me, generally you're not paying taxes on your purchase. If you have, let's say you order something, I don't know, from Pottery Barn, and you're like, well, wait a minute, I got charged tax on that, and it's you know, I just ordered online. Well, if you got charged tax on it, it's probably because Pottery Barn has a store in your state, or some part of their business is in your state. It's interesting because on Amazon, sometimes you'll get taxed on your purchases and sometimes you won't. I don't know how even that works. If Amazon has a distribution center in your state, sometimes you're not really buying from Amazon, you're buying from someone else, and whether they reside in your state or their business is in your state. So I pay Utah sales tax for purchases that are made from my store of people that live in Utah. But otherwise, right now, the law is that you do not have to pay, as a business, you don't have to pay sales tax. And I don't have to charge sales tax. That's a very controversial, I shouldn't say controversial. It is, I think it always keeps coming up because there's really a lot of tax dollars left on the table in that case, right? So you will have people lobbying for it and then people lobbying against it. I always know when something's going on because every once in a while I'll buy something on eBay, but eBay will then send something out saying, oh, contact your legislature. You don't, because for small businesses, it's not necessarily the paying the taxes or having to pay the taxes because you charge the taxes. The problem is then it's just a lot more involved when it comes to an accounting perspective because then you have to file taxes in all of those states. So anyhow, that's just me chit-chatting while I was fussy cutting and stamping. So that could be now my little clipboard. I also could have just stamped on a piece of white paper and cut it out. I also could have just stamped directly on the paper on my base and cut it out. I just do different things sometimes. So when I do this, I am going to make it look like it is let's do this. I'm going to make it look like it's a clipboard. Like my list is really on a clipboard. So, oh, I don't want to do that yet. Hang tight. I'm going to have to add a little bit more adhesive again. In order to do that, I need some, I think I'm going to put white paper on that. We'll see. To make my list on. So, I need to get the white paper. Hang on. I'm just in the little cabinets behind me that you see at the beginning. All right. So, here's my little white paper. Interesting, Diane. Diane said I purchased some items from outside the U.S. in the last 6 months to a year. You've been charged international fee. There definitely are duties. Well, I think most places you have to pay like the taxes. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so this is going to be my little clipboard, and I'll write my list on this. When I do this, I always use 8.5 by 11, just white cardstock. And that I buy from Amazon, and I have that linked in the description of the video. But I go through a lot of white cardstock like this. And I always use, always-ish, I don't know, use 8.5 by 11. Always, when I'm working in my list. Because usually what I do, remember when we had our little lesson at the beginning on our sizes of our inserts? So standard wide is 5 by 8.25. Well, paper, 11 by 8.5. So basically, I can cut off 1/4 of an inch, and then I can get 2 5-inch pieces out of one piece of paper with very little excess, right? But now I had already made some marks. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a little bit more. It's interesting. Yeah, the I tell you, postage, well, of course, it just keeps going up. That's another issue in the U.S. Our postal service is a nonprofit. It's a government entity, and it loses billions of dollars. And so that's always a whole other issue where they either need to cut back on their service or, So, friends, I have lost my stamped clip. Does anyone see? This is where I now look forward. Did anyone see what happened to my stamped clip? Because it had adhesive on it. So, under your paper trimmer, I was just thinking that, right? Ta-da! Look at that. Oh, goodness. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Is that Matilda? I don't know if that's your name or if that's just your YouTube name. Alrighty. So we'll put this guy kind of about right here. And then this little guy will be right there. So it looks like, actually, let's move that up just a tad. About right there. So it really looks like that's kind of my little clipboard. All right, this is going to have to be outlined again because it's too white. It is too white. All right, so this one is junk food, right? It is Matilda. Gotcha. All right. All right, there we go. So that's my little clipboard. And then that's a super easy way to, well, it just took a little bit longer because I talk, but that's a really easy way to make a list. So I'm going to make my list around the stickers because the stickers are so stinking cute, and then I'll just make my list around them. So flan, yeah, no, won't use that one. Now these are all desserts, and I have savory junk food favorites, and I have sweet junk food favorites. So we'll see. That's cute, but not quite color right. That's a cute one. That'll be good. This one, that might be fun. So really what's happening is it's more the colors, right, that I'm pulling in. Can you guys hear that scratchy in my voice? That's interesting. So while I'm looking, oh, this one's cute too. Ooh. Okay, maybe that one's out. We'll see. And it's funny. I have sweet and savory on my list, but there's no savory. I mean, savory, like, not that a hot dog, I was going to say, not that a hot dog would be something on my junk food list, but just to try to get some savory in there, yeah, I won't put a hot dog sticker on there. All right, so I think we'll do that. Now, usually I do a little bit of washi, right? I usually washi at the bottom. So let's look. I had some washi out and then it fell. So let's see. I had pulled a couple kind of pastel-y looking. I know I won't use this guy because lines, no. The pink could be cute. I don't know, those maybe could be cute. And then it pulls in a little bit of the darker. Let's see. Oh, I probably didn't want to move those because I kind of liked where I had those. Guess this would be, these stickers would be good for a favorite dessert. Tracy, I love a hot dog every now and then. I know, right? Isn't that so true? Sometimes camping, right? Sometimes camping, there's nothing like a hot dog when you're camping, but it's like a grilled on the grill. Or if you go to a ball game or something, sometimes there's nothing better than a hot dog, but most of the time hot dogs don't like pop in my mind. And I don't think, oh, I think I want a hot dog. That's not usually something that occurs to me. Okay, that'll work. I didn't use washi on there. That's kind of unusual, isn't it? Okie dokies. Washi, if you are new to Lail, washi is something that is like one of my favorite things to use. Especially when I'm listing, just because it's a great way to get a little pop of color, right? Just a little tiny pop of color. And I really like washi. I have a lot of washi, so you'll see a lot of washi on my website. All right, so now that guy's probably not going to happen. We'll see. I don't know. Oh, I need a title, right? So for my title is going to say junk food. And then you just know that's my favorite. I have pulled out this morning. Oh, I know. I was talking about my scratchy throat. I will come back to that in a minute. I got totally sidetracked. I think by Tracy's talking about hot dogs. All right. So I love alpha stickers. You guys know that I use alpha stickers on a lot of my lists because they're perfect. I have tons of different alphabet stickers on my website. I have lots of Doodlebug because the Doodlebug are really fun. And I love the Doodlebug colors and their fonts. So this morning I have a large stack, as you can see, and these are from my personal stash. And this morning I put them in color order, like rainbow. Roy G. Biv, we talk about that. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So that it's easier for me when I'm looking for a color. I first start with the color, then I can go to the font. So I just have all the pinks and then all the reds and the oranges and the yellows. But I think for this one, I want to use black. And I want to use black just because I'm going to be writing my list in black. I have black there, I have black here, but also the black will kind of help to tie these two lists together, even though they're not the same topic at all. Just it'll give it a little bit more cohesiveness from the left page to the right page. So let's pull out the blacks and just look at the different blacks I have. And I think I probably already know. I think I will probably use the My Type. I love the My Type. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So now, actually, let's do this. Just don't mind me. I'm doing a little housekeeping. I might as well get these back in the order right now. The ones I didn't use earlier. Okay. Put these away. So I'm going to use my ruler again, my little ruler trick to do this. And while I'm doing that, I'll talk about the scratchy throat and I think where it's coming from. I think it's coming from a couple different things. Number one, we have fans blowing now 24/7 because it's so warm. So fans are in every room, whether it's a ceiling fan or a fan that sits on the table or on the floor or whatever. And that gets very drying, especially when you're sleeping. I think at night we have like 3 different fans going in our bedroom. And if you wonder what I'm talking about, our air conditioner went out on Sunday. And we are just waiting for the part to come in so the guy can fix it. So I think that's one reason. The other reason is some of you will remember me talking about that I hired somebody. I hired someone to help me because I cannot continue to work like 70 or 80 hours a week. I just can't do it. I have no life. That's what happens when you own your own business sometimes. And that's what happens when you have a really, the kind of personality that you just keep going and you never turn off, and you don't want to turn off because you still want to keep doing things. Anyhow, Nick, my husband, had been working at home for a really long time. Well, COVID. And as he was in between doing things, he would also help me ship orders, check in product, pack orders, different things like that. But now his world is now getting back to normal. So he's not doing that anymore. So when you take Lael, who's been working a lot of hours, and then when you take Nick away because he's not helping as much as he was able to used to, then Lael's going to lose her mind. And actually, I've had, it on my long-term business plan to hire someone for a while. But my business is out of my house, right? So that gets all a little, dodgy. You don't necessarily want someone like in your world, especially if you don't know them. So long story short, I hired our old nanny. It's weird to say nanny because she's a little bit younger than I am. But I say nanny because she worked for us from when our oldest was 3 months old until he was 15. So she worked for us for 15 years, which is like unheard of. Diane, thank you so much. Oh, Diane. Diane says, are you typing junk twice? So this is what happens. Lael on migraine medication, a little bit loopy, trying to do 2 things at once. Like I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. And this is what happens. I was not paying attention and I'm just typing junk instead of junk food. So yes, thank you. Let's fix that. And I will spell food. Anyhow, so she started on Thursday. And so I've been doing a lot of talking with her, just this is what you're, just obviously a lot of talking. And then yesterday I went on a 2-hour, 6+ mile walk hike with some neighbors, and I talked the whole time just because I talk. And then last night we had a neighborhood party. Now, some of you know, because I've talked about it before, we live in a new neighborhood. We built a home here, and it was a brand new neighborhood. There are maybe 140 homes now. There will be maybe 165 when it's all said and done. We were, 4 of us moved in. The very first 4 moved in all within the same week, and that was 3 years ago. But we have an amazing neighborhood and amazing neighbors, and there's all kinds of things always going on. We had a neighborhood party last night outside. There was a band. There was a food truck, like a hamburger sliders food truck. And there was a churro truck. And so it was like a little mini concert. It was very cool. But again, I talk a lot. And so I was talking to lots of neighbors. So I think that's the culmination of scratchy throat. Now, what's going to be very interesting is, and I never do this, but I needed to do it this time. So I'm doing this morning, and then this afternoon for 3 hours, I have a class teaching my Sunny Days, the summer mini book kit. And I try never to do classes on Saturdays because I do this, and it's just a lot. It's a lot for me in one day, but I needed to do it. So I think tomorrow, if you were to hear me tomorrow, this is sometimes what happens because they're small and they're cardboard. So another cardboard. They're cardstock. They're not cardboard. There wasn't enough for them to stick. They were, because of all the tall guys, most of the sticker, and actually, I don't even know why I did them that way. Just migraine. Never mind. Don't mind me. Now I don't even know what I was saying. If you were to hear me tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to talk. Maybe that's what I was saying. I don't know. Just chit-chatting the time away, because it would be weird if I was working and not talking. Okay. I just need to move them over a little tad. Especially when I am working with really thin stickers like this. I don't mean thin, I mean narrow. My little tweezers come into play, because it's a lot easier to pick up and place and then replace if I need to with my little tweezers. Okay, there we go. Junk food. So what's really cool about having her now here working with me is that that gives me more time to do the things that only I can do. Like seek out and find cool product and design, right? Design. So spend more time planning these, but then also designing new project kits and classes. Okay. Hi, Ariana. Good for you sleeping in. That's what teenagers do, right? You're supposed to sleep in. You're growing. Oh, it sounds like I'll see Susan this afternoon. Oh, good, good. Neighborhood driveway. So, not a capital F. Here's the thing, Marilee. I use lowercase a lot. I just prefer the look of the lowercase. So it's a lowercase J, and a lowercase F. And it may have looked like it was an uppercase J the way I had said it on the ruler, but that's the uppercase. And then I'm gonna grab just one of these, oopsie, one of these little guys. Uh-oh. Hang on. Put the end back. And I was gonna grab a little dot. We'll just do this. Make my own little dot. Junk food. Okay, so this guy we like. What happened to the other one? I don't know. This one could go. Where'd that little, like, strawberry thing go? Well, I could just do all cupcakes, because who doesn't love a good cupcake, right? That'll work. That'll work. We'll just do it. School's out, Ariana, yep. So, and Ariana, I think you're okay with, because nobody knows where you live. But I think it's okay telling people this. And you know what? You should probably, if not, or if your mom thinks so, you know how to get in touch with me. Ariana is 13. And she's a little crafter, and she likes to join us, which I think is just so fun, because I think it's awesome that we have younger generation that's still crafty, right? That's important. We need all the generations to be crafty. I like that one better. All right, well, that one's just gonna go right there on my list. Okay. Hi, Patricia. Yes, summer vacation. Yes, so that's why I think Natalie, right? From Meal 1999. That's why Natalie said, enjoy your summer vacation, because she knows that Ariana is out of school, right? Remember when we were kids and summer, like there was nothing as a kid like being out on summer vacation. That was just all the possibilities and just so fun. Like the world was your oyster. I just realized I didn't date that. Usually I date my lists, so I will need to date that. All right, junk food. Now it's time to chat. You guys have to tell me in the comments or in the chat, what's your favorite junk food? What kind of junk food do we like? Sweet and savory, of course, right? Definitely sweet and savory. So this will be June 2021. And this could also be June 2021. All right, dated. What's your favorite junk food? Chocolate covered jujubes. Oh, yum. Chocolate covered anything, but only milk chocolate. Only milk chocolate. I am not a dark chocolate fan. All right, let's keep talking because a lot of times what happens, and I have a list, but my list isn't very long. So I will be curious to know what you guys have on your list. Even if you're not really making a list, what's on your mental list of junk food? I would love to know because it will probably spark something in my head. So this is kind of fun. This morning, Nick, my husband, woke up early to go play golf. And so I was in migraine haze. And I said, will you go get me my notebook, which is this one, that I make my lists in ahead of time. And so he brought it in and he said, oh, junk food. He said, what were those things when we were a kid? That just reminded me of one. What were those things when we were a kid? He said, were they Hostess cupcakes or ding dongs? The ones that were, he said, they're like a hockey puck wrapped in tinfoil, right? And I didn't remember which one it was, but cupcake or ding dong, whatever they were. Not the ones that had the little thing on top. Oh, okay. So here's an interesting thing. There's going to be a debate, and let's keep this civil, please. Twizzlers or red vines? Twizzlers or red wines? Yeah, that's junk food. Twizzlers or red vines? I need to do a poll. Look at that, Sarah. Red licorice ropes with Diet Dr. Pepper. Oh my gosh, funny. Oh, Karen, Stroop waffles. Oh my gosh. And I've had Stroop waffles, like the real ones in Amsterdam. They're Stroop waffles with coffee. Oh my goodness. Like dunking them in coffee. So good. Red wine. Red vines. Okay, so I am a diehard red vine fan. Nick, on the other hand, doesn't really have a preference. He's an equal opportunity red licorice guy. Whether it's red vine or Twizzlers. He loves them both. But red vines are my thing. Yes, warm ones. Oh, Karen, they're so good. And until I went to Amsterdam, I'd never heard of a Stroop waffle. Okay, but I saw something. Ketchup chips. Oh, ketchup on fries. Jane, I think so. Jane said Twizzlers, of course. I think it depends on what region you're from. I agree. We did a list a long time ago about, well, I don't remember what it was, but we were talking about whether they're roly-polies or potato bugs. Crab. Oh, okay. Sona, where do you live? Where do they have crab chips? I don't know. Interesting. Oh, is Nick here? Nick, are you? Oh, your ears were burning, honey. I was saying, Nick's chiming in from the golf course. He's like, what are my followers doing today? He's so funny. Honey, we were just talking about junk food, and we did talk about the hockey puck one, and then red vines or Twizzlers, and I said, you are an equal opportunity red licorice person, but I like the red vines. Saltwater taffy. Okay, I'm still waiting to hear crab chicks. Oh, from Maryland? Yeah, crab chips? Like crab potato chips. Nancy, do you know what Twizzlers are? Usually red vines, I think you see like at the movie theater. It's just a red licorice, but way better. Way better. Okay, ooh, saltwater taffy. Okay, time for me to list. So I thought, well, I was going to kind of do the sweet ones and then the savory ones, but here's the problem. If I do sweet and then the savory, then I know I'll come up with more as you guys are kind of chatting about what some of yours are, and then I'll be all out of order. So I'm just going to start. Lemon heads. I love lemon heads, the little yellow circle candy. The problem is I have something called a geographic tongue. I know that's a little bit too much TMI, but that tartness really gets in there, so I can only eat them for so long. Oreo mint shakes. That's like if you say, Lil, like if you could say calories, what calories? What would you have every single day? I'd say I would have an Oreo mint shake. I love, love, love that. Oreo mint shake. Another one, and this is what prompted the list. Onion rings. I like onion rings. There is a website that I go to as I, always am trying to come up with different ideas for our list, but there's a website that I go to, and actually we've talked about this before. like weird holidays. Like there's a holiday for everything. Like I bet you didn't know that Tuesday was National HVAC Person Appreciation Day. I didn't know that either. Just so happened that that was one of the days that our HVAC guy came over. But anyhow, this website tells you the weird holidays. Well, earlier this week was National Onion Ring Day. And that made me go, oh, that would be a fun list. Let's do junk food. National Onion Ring Day. Razzles. Oh my gosh, Razzles. Razzles. I have not thought about a razzle in so long. Oh, nibs. Okay, nibs is like the whole other one, right? Those little licorice nibs, right? Okay, so now I know what you mean with the licorice. I mean, the Australian red licorice. Yes, for sure. Oh, jelly rings. I love jelly rings too. Okay, here we go. Onion rings. The next one is French fries with, okay, that's all. This always happens. My mind is going faster than my pen. So I was saying French fries with fry sauce, and then I wrote French and then started writing with. So I just took out my little white gel pen and here, this will do it, and wrote over it. This is normally not meant for drying white gel pen. This is the fan that if I get really hot, sits over there and blows on my face. Yeah, just wait. Just you wait. Like Ariana, just you wait till you get a lot older and go through menopause. Okay. And you get really hot all the time. All right, French fries with fry sauce. I talked about fry sauce last week in my things Utah is known for. That just reminds another thing. You have not had French fries until you've had fry sauce, which is mayonnaise and ketchup mixed together. And don't knock it until you try it. So good. So good. Belinda, this is a great question. Belinda said nachos. Does that count? Hold on. Sorry. Let me just grab a quick drink. Of course it counts. It's your list. Anything counts. That's when I say you do you. If someone on here were to say Granny Smith apples, you know what? I wouldn't think of Granny Smith apple as junk food, but that person might, so that works. So whatever works for you. And yes, I love nachos too. Yes, nachos always count, for sure. Okay, so create and play with Renee. Plus 31, I know that's Celsius. I don't know the little, multiply by 2, add your weight, and then take away your neighbor's address, and then add 3. I don't know that little thing that makes it really easy to convert to Celsius to Fahrenheit. So will you tell us what 31 Celsius is? I'm sure it's hot. Oh, spicy Cheetos. Interesting. Okay, so French fries with fry sauce. Gummy bears. Okay, so gummy bears. Now, gummy bears, I like the Haribo ones, and then there's another one that you find at like TJ Maxx in a giant bag, and they are so soft, and they're so good, but I don't remember. Okay, there we go, 87 degrees. Yes, so good, they're squishy. Anything like that, they have to be like really squishy. Squishy gummy bears. Twix. I like a good Twix candy bar every now and then. And then right along with that, and if you don't like these, then I don't understand you. Cadbury mini eggs. And those are so good. Addictive. Oh, okay. Now look at all these. Barbecue potato chips. Yep, I don't have that on my list, but I need to add that. See, free calories. This is all calorie free. We can just dream about all this junk food and then go eat some celery. Swedish fish. Yep, love those too. I still have more on my list, but now I'm reading these that you have down here. I saw something else. Oh yeah, Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's, there we go. I love those. Okay, back to my list. Pringles. I like Pringles. And then you'd get them out of the can and you'd make little duck face. And yes, Pringles. Butter? Did I see that? Butter? You know what? That works. I mean, that totally works. Butter. I love jelly belly jelly beans and all the little different flavors. Love those. Well, let's get our red vines in here because I love the red vines. Oh, you know what else I love? Charms Blow Pop. Remember those? The sucker that has the gum in the middle that you can chew literally for like 18 seconds and then it's hard as a rock and you have to get rid of it. Okay, but butter. Butter for what? I missed something. Jeanette, did somebody say that they like butter as a junk food? And you know what? Like, no judging. That's you do you. Or if it was using butter with something. Croquette. No idea, Karen. I don't know what that is. But I bet you know what this is, Karen. Poutine. Oh my God, that's the best thing in the world. I only have that when I go to Canada and see my friend Vicky. Poutine. So good. Okay, did I write red vines already? Yes, okay. Really quick, you guys. So here, and now we're talking again. I'm going to go back to this. I keep coming back to this. Poutine with an E? Is it with an E? I don't know. Dip the fries in butter. Oh, wow. And cherry mountain bars. I've never heard of that. You guys let me know. Is poutine with an E? Thank you. Oh my gosh. You know what? That is not even funny. That whole thing is not even funny. Because that, I believe, is the way that you spell the president of Russia's name. Putin. Oh, heavens. All right, it's okay. I have my magical white gel pen here, and I write over the top of the letters, and it will dry. Okay, and then I'll write over it, and you'll never even know. That was really funny. Glad I have my fan here. Jeez Louise. Beaver tails. I don't know. No, it's Putin. I know, right? Yes. Ay. That's migraine brain. I know how to spell that. Caramel popcorn. Or caramel popcorn. That's another debate. Caramel? Usually Canadians say caramel. And I don't know, just caramel. Canadians. But I say caramel. And my friend Vicky always tells me that's wrong. In the most loving way, of course. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. P-O-U... Oh, it's not quite dry. P-O-U-T-I-N-E. There we go. Poutine. All right. Next one. Chex Mix. I love Chex Mix. Which leads me to another one, but I don't even know what it's called. There's the little brown things that are circles that are in Chex Mix. And now they sell just those separately that are so good. I don't remember what those are. Elephant ears. Oh, yeah, like funnel cakes for sure. Or sopapillas, right? Or kind of like a scone. They're all kind of in the same family. I also like Ruffles because Ruffles have ridges. Remember that? Gardettos, yes. Tracy, but yes, it's Gardettos. But what are those called? Do they have a name? That's the brand, but do they have a name, whatever they are? This one. Dill, pickle, chips, or popcorn. Trader Joe's has both, and oh, they're so good. Yeah, right. Melba toast. They're kind of like little Melba toast or rye bread chips. I just don't. Sourdough disc, is that what they're called? I'm just going to call them Gardettos because I don't know what they are, but Gardettos, yes. Because those are my favorite things to pick out of the Chex Mix. Yeah, like the brown garlic chips, exactly. Rolos. Okay, this is funny. I haven't thought about those in a long time. Rolos. I'm going to back up for a sec. So we're talking about memory keeping. This is absolutely memory keeping. This is, okay. This is a version of scrapbooking, what we're doing, right? There's just no photos on my list, but this is like an about me page. In fact, all of my lists are like about me pages, which is so cool because sometime in the future, my kids, or if I have grandkids or something like that, someone could look at these lists and they would feel like they knew me, right? Or know me maybe a little bit more. I mean, I've never really talked to my kids for whatever reason about childhood injuries or what junk food I love, but it gives this opening into who you are that people might not otherwise know. So I think that's one of the most fun things about what we do when we are listening. Yes, you can buy a bag with just the rye chips. Yep, Gordettos. We love it. Rye chips. Okay, there we go. Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle chips. Oh, yum. Okay. All right. I think that's all that I had on my list. So now I have to do the homemade caramels, and I never make those. But like Christmas time, when people bring around those are so good. Oh, cupcakes. Hello. I love cupcakes. All right, that's probably it. That's probably my list. And now that is definitely not all inclusive, right? Yes, Encyclopedia of Lael. Laelopedia. It's a Laelopedia. But you know what? It's a Youpedia, right? Because if you are listing, even if you've only ever done 1 or 2 lists, it's a Youpedia because look at all this like goodness that we are creating. We're telling a story about ourselves, but a lot of times we don't feel good. We don't feel like we can take the time, or it seems weird to talk about ourselves. But this is a way that we are talking about and documenting ourselves in a totally different way. Okay, list number 2 done. Third list is also food related. I'm not sure why they all ended, well, 2 of the 3 ended up food related this week, but they did. Third list is sorry, not favorite junk food. We just did that. Third list is always in my fridge. And as I mentioned, I saw, I don't know, Facebook or something, something that said always in my fridge. And I thought that's kind of a fun list. So the things that are always in your fridge, the staples, whether or not you're making something with them, but things that are always there. This list I am doing directly on the page. And I am pulling out, okay, this will be a case, oh, and here's another thing. This is going to make me talking even more today. And this is not necessarily well planned, but it's just sometimes how things work out. One of Nick, my husband's, one of his customers is in town from Hawaii. And he is here with his daughter, and I think his wife. His daughter is looking at going to school at the University of Utah. Well, Nick and I both went to school there. And so they are coming over for dinner at 6:30. So list from 10 to whatever time. And then another class from 3 to 6. And then they're coming over at 6:30. Now, luckily, I don't cook. A lot of you know that. I do none of the cooking in our house. Nick does. So we sat down yesterday, figured out, okay, this would be good. Let's make this. And when I say let's make it, I mean Nick makes it. And I just kept saying, okay, but guess what? I'm going to be like zero help because I will, one thing to the another to the other. He's like, I got it. Don't worry. And I'm like, so you're golfing all day, yeah? He's like, yeah, but I got it. What time are you coming home? About 3. And I'm like, okay. All right, anyhow. Yes, so I thought what I would do, I pulled out Color Study. Sorry, you guys. Now, I hate that I keep like trying to clear my throat, but there's a frog that's decided to join me. So I pulled out Color Study, and I love Color Study. Well, I love Vicky too. So I thought I would use Color Study, and it's going to be pretty simple. But I thought I would use, there's so many great icons in Color Study. And maybe a little washi. I pulled out, where'd that washi go? Oh, this one. This guy is from a newer pack of washi that I've added to the website. it is this one. I loved that. I loved the date with the numbers below it. And I thought this would be kind of fun because it really doesn't matter what date it is, what month it is, what time of year it is. These are things that are always there. So I will use that as an accent along the bottom with something. And I don't know what. Oh, no. Okay. So this is why this is a no. This is this is the Color Study washi right here. Or one of the washies from the Color Study pack. I love it. I love kind of that rainbow look. But I won't use it, maybe, because this is thick and this is thick. They're both really thick. And I usually don't like to have something like that. I like a thinner or to overlap or something. What I may be able to do is to overlap. So I only have part of that rainbow. It depends on how opaque this washi is or how transparent it is, because I don't really want the rainbow to show through that. If that doesn't work, I could cut this so it's thinner. So we'll see. Mari, that sounds amazing. Mary, that sounds amazing. Okay, so, or maybe this guy, we'll see. That's also, well, I'll just pull all these out. These are all Color Study washi. If you follow Vicky, then you know she has a Christmas collection coming out. So just know, you know, I will have all of that product. Well, when I say all that product, I'll have what I normally have. Die cuts, stickers, stamps, washi, 6x8 paper pad. All right, so I loved this guy. And I thought this was kind of fun because I love the rainbow. I love the pie chart. But what I thought was kind of fun about it was, I don't know, you kind of have different types of food in your fridge, right? You might have fruits and vegetables. You might have condiments. You might have different things like that. So I thought that was kind of fun. And it's a lot of color, but it's a lot of color really easy. All of my lists aren't like super involved like this. So this was kind of a super involved. This was, not much. But literally, really, I say, if you want a list, all you need is a piece of paper and something to write on. But something like this, putting something like this there, I can write my list right here, and then it's just super basic, right? The only thing is, for my title, if I put my title up here, then it might look kind of weird, just because this is so top heavy. So what I might try to do is put my title on here somehow. And the way that I might do that, let's just look and see. I think I need a label sticker, and I don't know if, offhand, I need a blank label sticker. Those are too small. If I don't have a label sticker, then I have something else I can do. And I'll think about that in a sec while we keep looking. Oh, now, these are kind of label stickers, right? That make a lot of color. Those are individual labels. So if I did something like that and then put something else right there, maybe, that could work. Here's the thing, and I will test it. These stickers have a coating on them. If I write with my Sharpie, always in my fridge, and we let that dry for a minute, then we'll just see what happens. I may have to sacrifice that guy because I'll try to let it dry. And yes, so that could be fun to list the things in the pie slices. That would be a really fun way to use that pie chart for sure. The other thing that you could do, and unfortunately we don't have this many things in our fridge, but you could have different categories. So this could be sauces, this could be dressings, this could be condiments, this could be fruits, vegetables, meats, cheeses, or whatever. And then when you came down below, you could use like a colored marker. And then if yellow were sauces, let's say, then you could write in yellow all the things that were sauces in your fridge. So you could have a lot of fun with a pie chart like this, because a lot of times your pie chart is representing specific things, so you could use the colors and then coordinating color below. We don't have that much stuff in our fridge because, well, we're empty nesters, and we just have a little bit of a different lifestyle that way. But I love that idea. I think that's an awesome idea. So let's see here. Okay, so see what happened? It totally bled. Now, I might be able to fix that, but probably not. I might be able to try a different color. That may be something where I need to just let it sit for longer and dry, but it may never. It just depends on that coating. It may never really work. So, in the meantime, let's go to Pink Fresh, because Pink Fresh always has a lot of label stickers, but I don't know that I'm going to find one long enough. So I think what I will do, I know what I really need, and I probably don't have them anywhere. Candy. Oh, well. Those are not really going to work. They're just, I want some to be longer. So, actually, this little guy might work. Aha! Perfect. This is from the Maggie Holmes sticker book. So that will work right there. And this does not have a coating on it, so I'll be okay. Should be okay, right? I should be okay. All right, so let's put this guy, except here's the thing. I don't really care for that little guy at the end. So I could either do this, like notch it, like that. I think that works. And then maybe this end I'll cover up. I better put this down. Now this is vellum, so I have to kind of be thinking about, oh, there's the sticker I was looking for before. I have to kind of be thinking about how I adhere this, because sometimes, depending on how opaque or how transparent the vellum is, I might see the adhesive below it. Sarah's saying a fixative spray. Yes, fixative spray would still work. Oh, Kelly had a great idea with the Heidi Swap label stickers. Yes. That would be another great one. So I have to sometimes think about where I apply my adhesive if I'm not using like a fixative spray. But what I can do is I can get kind of clever, because if I know that I'm going to put this right here, then I know that I can put my adhesive like right there. Now what I'm going to do though, before I adhere this guy, I'm going to rotate my pie chart because I like those colors. I don't want them to be covered up. So I'm actually going to cover up. There we go. If I do that, then I still get a little bit of both of those purple colors. Well, let's see. We'll do that. And then that pink kind of goes with that one. That was overthinking that quite a bit, so don't mind me. So this will go right here. And actually, this going right here, that could potentially be enough to actually tack that piece down. But I can put my adhesive right here. I can hide it behind where that sticker is. Now, it might be okay for me to just add adhesive behind the whole thing or just in little parts, but I'm just going to do this and call it good. It'll be fine. All right, so I need something to go in the center, but I better first write always in my fridge. Always in the fridge. Always in the fridge. Okay, there we go. Now I'll look for something to go in the center. Your son passed his driving test. Yay! I know I saw something earlier. I saw a conversation about that, but I didn't quite pick up on it. So, yay! We could do hearts. I think in the die, everything in the die cuts is going to be way too big. Way too big. Now I could use one of these guys because these are always fun. These little, the puffy stickers. Heart. Maybe I'll do a heart. Maybe a different color heart. Orange heart. Green heart. It's kind of fun that that's on transparent, on a clear sheet, because then I can kind of decide which one I want. Maybe it needs to be the pink one. That pink one. We'll do that one. There we go. Always in the fridge. Alrighty. So the things in our house that are always in the fridge. Oh, let's go ahead and do our bottom now. Might as well. Let's see what this would look like. I love this rainbow washi. Is so fun. It's a different kind of rainbow. But this is like all the colors combined with all the colors. Look at that! Oh, so good. That's so fun. But I'm not going to tear yet because I need to kind of see if this will work. So if I put that down there, you can see it through. I don't want to see. So this is what I'm going to do. There are a couple of different ways that you can make your washi thinner. You can, I've used an X-Acto knife and a ruler before on like a self-healing cutting mat. But I could also do this. Take out my other little trimmer. And if I think I want it to be about, I don't know, maybe to this yellow right here. I can put it on the trimmer. Whoops, upside down. Nuts in the Coke? What? Yeah, hold on, the washi with the pie chart. Oh, I understand. Belinda, that was again a little bit of migraine loopy hangover. Not a hangover, but it is a migraine hangover. That's what I call it. Never mind. So I can do that and then just cut. And then I have skinny washi, right? I don't know, I'm missing some conversation about peanuts. So let's see. I did that about in half. About in half. I know that rainbow washi is so good. So good. All right, and then this guy. Now let's see what we're looking at. Rip. Okay, there we go. Okay, I need to rip a little bit more because it's a little bit bottom heavy. A little bit, nobody likes to be bottom heavy, right? So let's start with this guy first. I'm just going to rip it a little bit like that, and then we'll rip this guy a little bit like that. There, a little bit better. Okay, always in the fridge. Where's my list? Where is my list? Let me put these things away real quick, guys. I'm going to have a pretty quick set change in between to get all this cleaned up and then get ready for my Sunny Days class. Okay. Oh, and this goes in there too. I don't think I've used that before. I love that. Okay. Here we go. Always in the fridge. Okay. Iced tea. The unsweetened variety. I'm not a fan of sweet tea. I have it in a container in the fridge. Cheese. All kinds. Love cheese. Love cheese. Shouldn't, but I do. Eggs. Eggs are always in the fridge at our house. They're just kind of a staple, right? So I probably missed you guys when you guys were talking about things in the fridge because I was working away. So what do you always have in your fridge? Colleen always has classic Coke. I think that's when you're commenting about. Bottle of Coke with peanuts in it. Okay, right? So there's a history behind that. And I've heard that, Coke with peanuts. Or maybe Colleen was talking about classic Coke and peanuts and not being in her fridge. Diane, Dr. Pepper. Okay, so yeah, in the comments, tell me what's always in your fridge. Eggs. Here's one. I bet this is in most of our fridges. Baking soda. Right? not the one you bake with, because the one we bake with is in the pantry, but baking soda to absorb all the odors, right? So we always have baking soda in our fridge. Naan, bread, and hummus. Oh, Sarah, I love that you always had that. I love hummus. Susan, wine. Bingo. Yep, Chardonnay. There's pretty much always Chardonnay in my fridge. And the wine fridge for sure, because the wine fridge is for wine. It always had wine in it. But Chardonnay, after I've opened a bottle and had a glass, then it's in the fridge, the regular fridge. Yes, so wine all the time. Babble cheese. I don't know what babble cheese is. Okay, Chardonnay, eggs, baking soda, coffee creamer. That is if our fridge is empty, like seriously, there's nothing in our fridge, there's always coffee creamer. And it's just plain old creamer. My coffee is, I like the flavored beans. And then just plain old creamer. No sugar, no flavored creamer. That's it. Milk. Now, I'm going to say this. We don't drink it, but it's always there for Sam when he comes over. Now, that is, I'm going to do something with that one. Because outside of that, everything is just kind of a run-on list, right? But I might like that to kind of stand out a little bit. So sometimes in my list, what I will do, and I had done this on this one, I went back with a colored pencil. And sorry it's so yellow, guys. Okay. Sorry all of this looks so yellow. It's just I don't have my lights on because of our air condition. But if there are certain things that I want to highlight in a list like that, when it's a run-on list, I'll just take out my colored pencils and just write a little box around them. So I think that's what I'm going to do on this one. That little thing about Sam, I will take out a colored pencil. One of the many colored pencils. I will take out a colored pencil. And now you got to pick a color. And that's not necessarily easy. So probably what I will do, I may do this with a couple of them then. So it's not just this thing. So of course I'll start with yellow. I have not swatched my colored pencils yet. That's one of those, on a rainy day I will do that. Okay, I will use yellow to highlight that. So this is what I do. Usually when I do something like that, it's because it's something, I mean, not important, but it's something that I really want to draw eye to. And that's kind of sweet. And then in it goes, just color it in. Color it in. Okay, I'm going to set these off to the side for a sec. But what I'm going to grab now is my little container of hearts. And I will use, I think, one of these little guys. These are just the Doodlebug hearts that are on my website. And I'll put a little heart in there somewhere. Maybe a blue heart. Just right there. Okay. Those are always a nice little, just a little something. All right, keep going. Hershey syrup, soy sauce, tortillas, Tabasco, and Worcestershire sauce. Right, that's always a toughie to pronounce. Tortillas, okay. Flour or corn, and I didn't have this on my list, but I'm going to add it because we always have tortillas, but they are of the corn variety. I am not a fan of flour tortillas. So, corn. Now, we sometimes have flour because I think Sam likes flour if he ever comes over for dinner, but I don't necessarily like flour. Tortillas. Oh, another one. And this one, this is just always have to have it. Shredded Parmesan cheese. And it doesn't get used that often, but like if you're making pasta, sorry you guys, you're making pasta and you don't have shredded Parmesan cheese, it's like such a bummer, right? So, shredded Parmesan cheese. And I can't do the kind in the green, whatever that was, the green shaker one. I used to do that when I was a kid, but if I'm going to do it, it's got to be like, in a little container like this that's shredded and yeah. Always, pretty much, we have deli sliced ham and turkey. That's a great way to get protein in. You don't even have to have it with anything. Just roll up a piece and have it. That's just a great way to kind of get some easy protein in. Also, almond milk. We use that for protein shakes. Not to drink. Almond milk. Of course, butter. Lots of butter. No margarine. Butter, butter, butter. Ketchup. Mayo. Mustard. No Miracle Whip. I used to love Miracle Whip. I loved Miracle Whip. Loved with a D. And now I can't stand it. Not funny. So no Miracle Whip. This one though, we will always have this. It is called Truff Hot Sauce. It is definitely a splurge. It is, hi Lisa. It is definitely a splurge. It is truffle hot sauce. Oh my gosh. It is so good. Like on eggs. Oh, it's so good. It's called Truff. And you know what? It comes packaged. It looks like perfume. It's like in this box and it's amazing. But yeah, it's a little bit expensive. Another one, it's called Tiger Sauce. Anyone been to Maui? Now I think they're in Oahu too. It's a place called Paella Fish Market. And they make the most amazing fish tacos. They have something on the tables called Tiger Sauce. They don't make it. I think it's from Louisiana. But it's so good on fish tacos. And fish tacos are part of our like weekly rotation here at our house. And it's this sauce that I just found it on Amazon. But oh my gosh, it's so good. Pepto-Bismol. Ariana, so do you guys put Pepto-Bismol in your fridge? Yeah? That's interesting. See, look at how cool. Because everybody has different things in their fridge. Another one is Cholula. I always can't remember how to pronounce that until I look at it. Cholula hot sauce. Romaine lettuce. We always have romaine lettuce in our fridge. Red onion, same thing. Oh, okay, I'm going to squirrel for a minute. Onion. I hate slicing onion because what happens, right? When you slice an onion, you cry. Whatever the onion emits, that, it makes you cry. So I just learned and I tried it and it totally works. If you're slicing an onion, like on your cutting board, get a wet paper towel. So get a paper towel, get it really wet, and set it like on the cutting board next to you. What happens is when you slice into the onion, whatever it emits is looking for moisture. That's why it goes to your eyes. But if you have a wet paper towel there, it goes to the paper towel instead of your eyes, and then you don't cry. Yeah, squirrel. Okay, this one I had to look at in the fridge because I always call them one thing, and I think I've called it the wrong thing the entire time. I'm going to spell it. Pepperoni. pepperoncini peppers. Yes, the peppers, right? Pepperoncini peppers in a jar. So I always call them pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. They're not called pepperoncini, I learned. That's pepperoncini, chini, I don't know. But I'm like, oh, I didn't know that's how you spell it. Here's another one, green olives. And they don't necessarily get eaten very often, but I love green olives. With both of our kids when I was pregnant, the only craving I had, and I only had it with one, had it with Jack, and it was green olives, like with the red, whatever that thing's called in the top. Migraine brain. Yeah, I can't remember what the red thing is called. But green olives, love green olives. That's the only thing I craved when I was pregnant with Jack, and I went to Costco and bought like the giant size jar of green olives. Jam. Yep. Jam is on my list as well. You always have to have jam in case you need like an emergency peanut butter and jelly. Another one is the Paul Newman salsa. I love that salsa. Pimento. Thank you. Pimento. Susan, you use green olive juice when you make margaritas. I love margaritas and I love green olives, but I'm going to have to get that recipe from you. That sounds very interesting. Carrots. There's always carrots in there in one form or another. When I say one form or another, they're either baby carrots or they're the big grown-up carrots or they're the carrot chips. I love the carrot chips that are like waffle. I mean, they're just carrots. They're not like potato chips, but they're like the waffle cut, I guess. All right. So carrots. Here's another one. This was on my Trader Joe's list. Pepita salsa. That's really good. This is going to sound interesting. Avocados. So we like avocados at our house. We make, like I said, fish tacos every week, and sometimes we like avocados on our fish tacos. If you did not know, once your avocados get ripe, you can put them in the refrigerator, and that will stop them from ripening. So it extends the life of your avocado, and that's if it's uncut. Anyhow, avocados. Another one is squeezed garlic. Nick uses garlic a lot when he cooks. I use garlic when I make the one thing that I make, which is artichokes, and I put garlic and lemon and mayonnaise in the little dipping. Squeeze garlic though. Squeeze garlic, that way you always have it. It's just garlic, but they're little garlic like it's all been chopped up. You just squeeze it out and it makes it easy. Lemon and lime juice. Yes, squeezed garlic. It's awesome. It's so good. Oh, English cucumber. Jeanette, I love English cucumber for sure. I love English cucumber. Just not in our fridge very often. Yes, I know. Because Diane said, good to know because I can't eat them past a certain ripeness because they just get squishy. Yes, that will stop the ripening of your avocado to keep it in the fridge. And it's not cut. I don't know. I mean, once it's cut, it's kind of hard to save an avocado once you cut into it just because it kind of gets brown. And anyhow. All right, friends. So that is our third list. This one is definitely a dater. And when I say dater, I mean you want to date this list because, like I said, very different things would be on my list if I was doing this when the kids were still kids or when they were babies or whatever. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this little line here and I'm going to write my little date around the line. Follow the curve. June, I'll just write again, June 2021. All right. Okay. So that is our third list. Two quick things. Before I... Well, someone asked at the beginning, they wanted to see a quick flip through of my new, where is it? Hang on. Of my new, it's in a stack on the floor. Let me grab it. File folder mini book project kit. So it is 90% of the way done. Being designed. Oh, angel time. Gotcha. Thanks, Colleen. So I just have, I don't know, a little bit more work to do on it. But I'm also going to grab one more since we're looking at that one. I'll also show you the Traveler's Notebook kit because there's something really cool in this one. Okay, so this is the brand new Sweet and Simple File Folder Mini Book Kit. And we actually construct the mini book using file folders that I have already pre-cut, pre-scored, and pre-labeled for you. And now for the first time ever, when I say I mean Lily. And Lily is my new employee. And so that's one of the things she was doing yesterday was pre-cutting, pre-scoring, and pre-labeling all of the little file folders to make this. So this is just a really fun, cute, kind of all-purpose little mini book kit. Like I said, I've still got a little bit of designing left to do, but this uses the Twilight collection. Some of you remember the Willow collection, so same manufacturer. When you make the file folder mini books like this, you end up with pockets on the side based on how you put them together. So side pockets. And then you also have the top pockets, not a hot pocket, but top pockets. So you have tags that slide into little top pockets. So it's just kind of a fun little mini book to make. And that project kit starts shipping on Monday, and it is on the website. I will, once I get the rest of it designed, like I said, just a little bit more to go, I'll do a flip through video. So the flip through video will be here on my, YouTube channel. Anyhow, that's that little guy. The other one is the Traveler's Notebook Kit. That's the Twilight Traveler's Notebook Kit. Using the same collection. This will decorate pockets, will cover 2 inserts. This one has a zipper pouch, still in the middle of designing this one too. So we'll do some fun things with the zipper pouch. We'll create a little pocket folder, but then this one, and I can't have everyone make this, so I'm actually making it for everyone because not everyone has a laminator. But this is a little laminated like to-do list or grocery list or whatever. The kit also includes a wet erase marker. So basically you write your list on here, and then when you're ready to start a new list or something, then you just take a little damp paper towel, wipe off the wet erase marker, and then you're on your way again. So some fun things we will be doing in this little kit. Both of those are on the website. All right, friends, I'm going to flip the camera. Before you go, just remember, okay, hang on. Flipping 1, 2, 3. The giveaway. So giveaway for this week is a little scatter pouch that has scattered thoughts stickers and pin and scatter the squirrel vinyl sticker. So for that, leave a comment after the video's done. Not in the chat, but on the video itself, leave a comment telling me did we say something in your fridge? Can't remember. Really something from any one of our lists today, whether it's something in your fridge that's always in there, whether it's one of your favorite junk foods, or even if you want to share one of your childhood injuries. Just leave a comment after the video's over, and I'll give that away next week. Thumbs up. So if you enjoyed, please, please, please thumbs up. Super important. Let's see. Tip. Hold on, Jeanette. Jeanette said any veggies you want to keep longer in the fridge, wrap them in a paper towel before storing. Wet or dry paper towel? Curious. Who won this morning from last week? Ariana. Cindy Bartok did. Ooh, that's totally crooked. Cindy Bartok did. All right, you guys. I may have missed. Oh, Paula. Well, I won't say that. Everyone needs a Nick. Nick was driving me crazy yesterday, so I was ready to wring his neck, but in the best way, of course. I love him, but sometimes you want to wring their necks. Paula said I need a Nick. Paula does all the cooking and then works a lot of hours, so utmost respect for you. All right, you guys. Karen. So Karen asked, is the binder from Vicky's Christmas 2 inches? I have no idea. I am not using Vicky's Christmas collection for my annual December documented project kit. I know that sounds weird because Vicky's a dear friend of mine and I love her products, but Vicky will probably do one. And doesn't do anybody any good to have 2 Vicky Bouton collection Christmas mini book project kits out there. So you could check with her. I don't know if it's 2 inches or not. I will be using, I'm going to mash up the new Simple Stories. I think it's Holly Jolly maybe, and Make It Merry. So the 2 non-vintage ones, and that'll be a really fun kind of mashup. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me again today. Thank you for bearing with me through the no air conditioner, through the migraine fog, and our usual Saturday's silliness. We will be together again next Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And some of you I will see later this afternoon for the Sunny Days project kit. So if I don't see you this afternoon, head to the maybe Facebook group, because there's lots of fun happening there. And if not, then I hope to see you guys next Saturday. Goodbye, take care, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.